It's day 4 of the virtual FCA camp, softball edition, 100%. Today, our focus is on serving and serving others 100%. You know, we often find ourselves in a world that teaches us to watch out for uno, the number one. Yeah, that's ourselves. We often in the society today ask ourselves when somebody asks us to do something, well, what's in it for me, or how can I benefit from it? But in reality, it is what we do for others that often helps us reap the largest reward. I'm going to try to explain something. It's back in the high school days whenever I played football. I learned real quick that as a lineman that I needed to block for my receivers and quarterback and running backs. You know, I learned real quick as well that linemen didn't make the headlines, and that was okay. You know, I could have pouted whenever you weren't in making the headlines and quit blocking, but if I did, then the publicity that our team got in the paper would be all negative. So I learned real quick to do my job, and it was better for the team and as a whole. Even though you might have been the one that set that key block for that 85-yard touchdown run, and then the running back get all the credit for it, it was still worth it because you were helping your team. You served others, and that's what you needed. I learned I needed to do. I'm going to challenge you to be that person, to be the person that sets a pick in basketball for your teammates so they can score, or be that person in basketball that maybe gives up a shot and makes the extra pass to a player that has a better shot. In our sport, in softball or in baseball, be that person that lays down the sacrifice bunt so someone else can hit him in, get him 60 feet or closer to home plate. Be that person that scraps at the plate to find a way on so the next RBI hitter can come in and have a chance to get an RBI. And better yet, be that encourager. Be that person that picks everybody up no matter what. Whenever you're feeling down, when you're feeling up, but be that encourager to others to make others feel better about themselves. You know, Jesus was a team player. When he was on earth, Mark tells us in chapter 10, verse 45, "For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Christ came to this world to serve others. Now, using his example, what can we do to serve others? Giving 100%. When playing softball on offense, one of the most challenging things to do is to get on base, and that's what everybody wants to do. We want to score, but being able to score, you have to get on base. So everyone gets the most practice running to first. We need to do it correctly, and there's certain things that we try to teach that will help and aid in that. The first thing we want to do, and Sydney's here helping us out, as we're striding and running hard to first base, is where we hit. This is on an infield hit. She'll be running, of course, in full go here in a minute, but she wants to put her foot on that front edge in the middle of the orange base. Don't want to hit it halfway in between the white and the orange, not over on the white, but right there. Doesn't want to step over or on top, slip, it takes longer. We want to hit that front edge. As soon as she crosses over, she's going to start patting down and look to the right, to her right. She looks to her right to see if the ball got through. Now, we don't always do this, and the more experienced you are as a base runner, you can read if the first baseman's having trouble with maybe a wild throw. But if we are patting down looking to the right, we can see that ball and recognize, hey, we can go even before the coach, the first base coach, tells you to go. So after she pads down, go back and pads down, she'll take an immediate hairpin to her left and come right back to the white bag. A lot of players sometimes will peel to the right, and it puts them out of position to be able to take the next base if there's an overthrow on the field or a bobble, and doesn't give them time to get there. So if we're automatically turning to our left, then we're in the right position to run to the next base. As long as there's not an attempt to go to second base, it's okay to turn to your left and come back to first base. So the girls are going to demonstrate. Sydney, if you want to go get in line, they're going to demonstrate full go coming through to first base on an infield hit. So go ahead and go. Watch how their foot hits the middle of the orange base, pads down quickly, hairpins, and comes right back to first base. Next one want to go. Notice our lefty's coming out of the box, has a quick start, tries to hit the front edge, hairpins, and comes back to the first base. We don't want to run clear into the outfield. Go ahead, Kylie. We don't want to run clear into the outfield. It puts us too far away from taking the next base if we need to have the opportunity to move on. Go ahead, Taryn, finish it up. Show them how to hit the center of that orange base and not the white base. Okay, kind of got on top, hairpin and back, getting that stride down. As you can see, it's not easy, okay? Sometimes that base is wet, damp fielding positions, and so practicing this over and over in your drills will really pay off. Okay, on this next drill, the batter has just hit the ball into the grass, into the outfield, and the coach is telling her to round first base. They're going to show you the proper steps of how to step out. Now, our field isn't lined for us today, but whenever they're approaching first base, they're going to be about 3 foot out to the edge of the running lane so that they can cross over the base and hit the inside corner. We like for them, possibly if their stride's right, to hit it with their right leg because it's a shorter path. Sometimes your stride allows that you hit it with your left, but we want to make that rounded corner so we have the straight shot to the next base with less chance of being thrown out at second. Get us there quicker. So they're going to show you the round if it's an outfield hit, and the coach is telling them to round it. So go ahead. These are all outfield hits. You're going to step out and round it. Good job, Brittany. Next one up. Notice how they're sprinting and pumping their arms. Good job, Sid. Hitting that inside corner. Head tie. That's the way. Hitting that inside. Good. That inside corner helps them push off, and Taryn going to wrap it up. Good. This is a skill we need to practice over and over. Listening to our coach, rounding it, making sure we touch the base. Okay, our batter has now become the runner at first base. Getting our good lead is very important. We know that to get a good lead, we have to leave in softball when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand. And the big thing to work on is the timing. And so we're going to show you 2 main starts that we use here at Lincolnwood. Kylie's going to show us our sprinter start. Notice on the sprinter start, her leg not touching the base is out in front of her. What she does then is she tucks her other foot, her ball of her foot back up against the base so she has a good push off. And it's on the outside corner because she's going to be running to the outside corner. If she's taking one base and stealing, she's going to be sliding to that side. If it's a hit in the outfield and she's thinking about going to 3, she's already going to be farther out so she doesn't have to step out as far and round it to go to the next base. So she sets up on the back corner of first base. She will time it up and take her sprinter start and throw her elbows and her arm pump into her sprint. She's going to take 3 steps out and then face the batter, seeing what happens, okay? So go ahead and push off and pretending the ball's being pitched and leaving at the right time. Now, she's ready to go either way depending on what happens at the plate, okay? Want to do it? Come back and do it one more time. Whenever you're ready. She fires off and she stays athletic. Good job. Okay, we're going to show you next the rocker start, and we'll have the other 3 girls use the rocker start. This one's more challenging. They start with their foot not touching the base behind the base. And the purpose of this is so that you can get your momentum going and be full stride when you leave the base. The drawback of this is timing. Every pitcher's different in their release. And so you have to look ahead of time before you get on base and say, oh, now when do I leave? You have to be studying the pitcher in pregame warm-ups. If you're the leadoff batter, you have to study her in pregame warm-ups to know where in her arm circle am I going to push off, okay? Brittany, a lot of times will leave in the arm circle when it's up here. The ball's at the 12 o'clock position above the pitcher's head, ready to come back around. But the timing's important, so here's what it looks like. Go ahead, Britt. 3 steps, fires out, gets set, ready to go either way, depending on what happens. Sydney, you want to show them your 3 and show them your rocker start, 3-step move. Okay, good. Notice how her balance is between her feet. She has good balance. So many times if we don't practice this, they go out, runner will go out and then they'll lose their balance and they'll slide or they'll fall forward. And so we have a drill that we do with this. And you 2 girls, if you want to go run and get your glove and face mask, Karen's going to pitch. These 2 girls are going to do a drill we do often. It's called the 2-whistle drill. And I'll try to explain it while they're getting out in position. Brittany's going to come up and be the base runner. Karen's going to be our pitcher at home. You'll have to have 2 coaches for this. One coach will stand on the foul territory out closer to the right field with a whistle. They will watch the base runner's foot. As soon as the base runner's foot comes off the bag, the coach will blow his whistle. Another coach will stand on the other side, the third base side of the pitcher. When the ball comes out of the pitcher's hand, that coach will blow their whistle. Ideally, both whistles should blow at the same time. That way they're leaving right when the ball is released. If the runner hears that the whistle over to in the outfield to her right is blowing first, she knows she left early. If she hears the pitcher's whistle, coach's whistle blow first, then she'll know, whoops, I left late because my whistle, whenever I was leaving the bag, it hasn't blown yet and I've left late. And it's a good instant feedback to hear. So without blowing whistles, she's going to get a lead, and you watch at home and see if she gets her lead on time here with her rocker start. Whenever you're ready. Okay, then Sid, you want to hop up and do the next pitch. Again, trying to time it up to get that push off so it's the same time leaving. Okay, we're going to teach you a little bit about sliding. Sometimes this gets overlooked, and some people think I'm a clinic junkie going to softball clinics and hearing it over the years, but one subject that never comes up very often, and not often at all, is the subject of sliding, and it's not well taught. And we try to push them to put some things in, and are always looking for more information to become better sliders. Some girls are very apprehensive about sliding early, so the drill we're going to show you early is one to hopefully show them some form and take away the fear. Notice we have a sliding mat, has a piece of cloth over the padded mat so it slides with them when they're in a full slide. And we go over the mat. We have Sydney and Brittany holding a bat, and this is going to show you the form of the slide. Now, when you slide, you want to figure out what tuck leg you have. And so Kylie, I'm going to ask you to sit down, cross your legs and sit down. Notice how she tucks under her left leg. That way you know what your natural tuck leg is. She tucked under behind her ankle when she went down to set in a cross-legged position, her left leg. I'm a right-handed tucker, okay? Notice how then she tries to keep her toe as pointed up out of the dirt as can. Notice how this toe's up and this leg has some flex in it when she slides. Now, when you slide, when you land, you want to land on your tuck hip. You don't want to land on both hips. You'll hurt your tailbone. Then, notice Kylie knew what was coming next. Instead of putting your hands down when you slide, she has to now when she's sitting. You want to throw your hands back so that you can slide under the tag. Now there's variations to that. Some girls slide and roll on this hip a little bit and slide, makes it a little harder to pop up, okay? But getting your leg tucked in a figure 4, toe up, your extend leg, toe up, and cushioning the knee so you don't jam it when you jam into the base. Want to slide early instead of late and really flow into it so we don't get hurt jamming it by sliding late. Okay? She's going to demonstrate on a mat to get this form down. So go ahead, Taryn. She's just going to kind of go up and grab and swing herself under and then lay back. Okay? Going to have that tuck leg. She also tucks her left leg. Okay? Want to do it one more time, Taryn? Sydney and Brittany are doing a great job holding the bat for her. Okay. Okay, we're going to look at an actual slide. We're going to do the pop-up slide here. Sydney's going to demonstrate it. She's going to use the form we learned in the previous little segment with the mat and the bat. Now she's going to demonstrate using that technique and then using her body weight to push against the base and then lift herself up ready to go to the next base if she's able to. So Sydney, would you go ahead and show us the pop-up slide? Okay. The ground's a little wet. Notice how she tucks her left knee, was able to get it locked in, and then popped right up. Good job. Okay, Sydney's now going to show us the slide by. A lot of times whenever the catcher's trying to throw a runner out going from first to second, infielders will come to the front of the bag. If she recognizes they're here in the front of the bag ready to receive the throw, she wants to be as far away from them as she can. So the slide by is a good option. Whenever she slides by then, she reaches out with her left arm and grabs hold of the base. She lets her feet slide on by. She usually takes one more stride than she would if she was sliding into the base. Go ahead, Sid. Come. Good job, Sid. Notice how she grabbed on. It makes it a lot harder for the defense person to swing out and tag her when she's going by. The last drill we're going to take a look at today is when a runner's at third base with less than 2 outs. There's no outs or 1 out, and a fly ball is hit to the outfield. Naturally, the runner is going to be getting their lead, so if you want to start with the lead, Brittany, getting her lead at third base. Now, she gets her lead in foul territory, and she gets a comfortable lead, but it's not as hard of a step lead as it is at first. She sees then the ball is a fly ball hit to left field. Okay? She immediately, when sees it's a fly ball, comes back and gets set like this, waiting for the coach. If the fly ball gets down, Brittany still has time to run in and score. It's no shame in staying back. What we don't want to do is get our lead and stay there and wait out here and watch until you see if they catch it or not. Because if they catch it, you have to come back and get tagged and turned around and set and tagged. By that time, we're not going to get home if the outfielder has any kind of arm at all. So, watching this, going through, we're going to do it again. You can just throw that ball out of the way, Kai. Go ahead and get your lead. The pitcher throws the ball, comes off the bat. It's a fly ball to the outfielder. She said, go. And she takes off. Okay? Want to step on in here, Sid, and do it. Show them one more time. Now, this sounds elementary, but this cost people games. We've won games because other teams didn't do this correctly, and unfortunately, we've lost a game or two because we didn't have this down. A player makes it clear to third base, 60 feet away from scoring the winning run. We want to get it in. So, Sydney's on, she watches the pitcher, she gets her step lead in foul territory, she sees it's a fly ball, she gets set, go! She's focused and ready to push off. Again, if she catches it, she has a chance to score. If the outfielder drops it, well, she has plenty of time to score. I hope you enjoyed your time at the FCA virtual camp this year 100% as much as I did. Really enjoyed it. Wish there was more time to spend on covering base running like we did today. There's so many key elements in that. It's half the offensive game besides hitting. We really appreciated the girls coming out and showing us what to do, how to do it in the correct form. They've worked a lot of years on perfecting different skills. We also want to point out that 100% is something that Jesus showed us. It's something that we can all take from his example. When a person's willing to die for another person, that's huge. But when he's willing to die for every person in the world, no matter how good you might think they are or how bad you might think they are, he loves us all the same. That's 100%. that's what we need to follow. That's the example I want to follow.